여러분! Today, I am finally gonna fix my truck. And when I say fix, if you guys don't know, this truck has a blown transmission. It technically still works, but it is not happy at all. So a quick backstory, this is my 2015 Chevy Silverado, which I am still doing payments on until this day, until October 26, 2026. So, and the reason why I have not been driving it, and if you guys remember back in my older TikToks, I've actually made videos about this a while back. That's when it was still good. And yeah, we blew the transmission like as of today, probably like two years ago, back at going to Ice Cream Cruise. We blew it on the way there. The trans overheated or the clutch packs, or maybe it was going out. I heard that these transmissions on these Silverados, I forgot, like I think it's like a 4L60 or whatever it's called. It's just, they just go out, man. It's just a natural thing for this Silverado specifically, from what I hear. And yeah, and then ever since then, she's just been sitting. I moved her around a couple of times from different storage places just because, like, obviously I have my van, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have all the money just to drop thousands of dollars to a dealership and get it fixed. But thankfully, I have connections. So actually, a long-term friend of mine from trade school got me a transmission, and funny enough, when the second the transmission blew, I called him. He made me a transmission, and then he'd been hanging on to it for almost a year because I didn't realize it was already done. So I picked it up, and then you think I was gonna get it done, right? Nope, didn't get it done. I just let it sit. I let it sit. I'm like, you know when electricity goes to the path of least resistance? I'm like, I go to the path of the least work I have to do to get by, you know? And that's what I did. I just left it there. I never pulled out an automatic transmission. I did that only back at trade school years ago, which is like almost like, what, 9 years ago? That's crazy. But yeah, yeah, she's just been sitting. So it's about time. I'm finally gonna put this together. I'm so sick of seeing, it's been so long, I can't stress enough, it's been so long that this truck's been sitting. I forgot I even had this truck at all until I have to make a payment. And then I'm like, oh, I totally forgot I still own this thing. So, but yeah, this is a giant paperweight. Let's not make that anymore. It'll be nice to drive something a little bit smaller than my big van. I love my Sprinter van, but she is a little bit big and she gets really tight during the city. So yeah, we just gotta throw trans in, that's it. So I don't have any new lines or anything, so we're gonna have to clean out the lines, do whatever, and then yeah, like, and then she's all factory, by the way, other than like the Mickey Thompson tires. That's it. We're gonna also take the running boards out because they actually got crushed. They don't look bent, but they're bent. They're very, very bent because when we tried to lift it on the trailer, it just didn't work out. Blah blah blah. But yeah, hopefully it won't be a pain in the butt. It is really hot today. Supposedly that this week and next week is it's the huge heat wave coming in. So I'm not looking forward to that. That's why I wore like the short sleeve today, because any circulation would be the best. Thankfully, I'll be underneath the truck where it won't be that hot because it's under the shade. But yeah, I've been dreading about this day for a really long time. I have my transmission in the Sprinter van. We'll pull it out once we pull the trans out. I do have a trans jack I got from Jags because, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, you know, I'm not pulling this trans out. I've seen so many videos of guys pulling a trans out. I'm not a big muscular man. I can't lift it. I mean, and I've also heard that doing it on the floor always suck. That's why people always, if they're doing trans, they do it on a lift. But obviously, I don't have a lift. But yeah, also too, you guys can't tell, there's a lot of gravel. So I got my broom. We're gonna move the truck back a little bit. I'm gonna sweep to have a nice cleaning area because just like at the junkyard, I really don't want to poke my skin with sharp rocks. But yeah, I think I got everything out of the way. Oh man, thankfully she has AC. So once I get her back online, that'd be great. The air conditioning will be fantastic, and like I said, I mean, she's a beautiful looking truck. It was just for so long, I was just like, you know, I'm not gonna deal with it. But yeah, all right, let's get this done. Holy cow, dude, that literally took forever, and I'm like so dirty. It's like working in the Dust Bowl here. Oh, I had to get rid of that. There's no way that I was gonna clear, and obviously it was all rusty and some of the bolts snapped. I honestly don't care. So now, the next thing we're gonna do is, it looks like the couple things we need to take off first. Obviously the exhaust needs to come out. Actually part of it probably. Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really hope I don't have to think I need to. Okay, let me come down here real quick. So it looks like, there's no way to remove it from, oh, are you kidding? I have to remove it from where the header is, or the manifold. Oh, that is gonna be swell. Honestly, I heard horror stories about them not coming off. Well, obviously this is not coming off. There's no way. Do you see that? That bad boy, it is rusted shut. So, yeah, that thing is not coming out. Realistically, I would say, I feel like what I could do, oh, I forgot this beam is here. Yeah, I think, is there, yeah, it's a clamp. So I probably have to get a new clamp to reclamp that, which is fine. And then, I guess we have to take the exhaust out first, and that's gonna be a treat. Honestly, I'm genuinely not looking forward to it. The only nice thing is that the floor is a lot colder, significantly colder. So, all right, let's do this thing. Let's hopefully get this thing out. So we're pretty much ready, almost ready to take this trans out. Oh, my hands hurt. So this is my new trans jack I got from Jags. Shout out. I'm so out of breath. Dude. I'm so glad this truck we're finally getting this thing done, because this is a pain in the butt, man. Like, if you guys never done transmission on the 1500 Silverado, especially like my year model, the biggest thing you got that sucks is that to take the headers off, you need to take the trans brace off, which that's like super far into it, but you have to get the 2 drive shaft off first, and then they are like rusted shut to the U-joints, so you need to prime. I actually had to go buy a bigger pry bar to pry out the back one. That was a pain in the butt. I had to use so much knock release and let it sit for a bit. So, but yeah, finally I got my other jack stand holding the trans right now by the transfer case. So what we're gonna do is, now we got the headers out, I'm gonna put the trans mount back on so I could release the jack, and then we could put this bad boy in there so we can actually have it secured, and then we'll start tearing around the bell housing and stuff, and then pretty much get ready to actually get rid of it or pull it down safely. Obviously, safety is key here. Wow, look at that. So this is the low profile model that I got. I don't know if there's other models, but okay, this one's got wheels in it. Nice. So there's a little bit of assembly you need to do. I mean, it's not a big deal. So it's just putting on wheels. Ugh. Honestly, I needed a break anyways, because oh man, that was just such a struggle. I just ate too, so like I'm kind of like still digesting right now. So, but yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. By the time I'm working on this car now, it's been a while since the truck actually been on jack stands for a while. Oh my god, look how small these wheels are. These wheels were not meant to be rolling on a gravel side like this. So this is gonna be I already know I'm gonna struggle. I think my only worry now is, and I don't know if you guys could tell, but hopefully I have enough clearance when I drop the trans. I might have to jack up the car front end wise to fully clear it. So I'm already mentally preparing myself for that. Dude, today's so the last 2 days I've been actively working on this thing. I finally actually, so I didn't tell you guys before, but I stripped 2 of the header nuts connected to the manifold. And I actually had to, we ordered this Amazon tool. It's just like your standard, like, de-stripper socket, and it grabbed it. It was great. I do need to get some nuts. I do have gaskets. I do have trans fluid. I have the trans in the van. I do have my hoist to take out of the truck, or the van, I mean. So yeah, we're in a good spot. And then I called my buddy who works on these all the time at work, and then he just gave me some pointers. There's 2 bell housing bolts at the very top, but before you get to the bell housing bolts, there's a bracket that uses the studs, I believe. So you gotta take that off first. But he says after that, like, you just grab the bolts on the bottom, and then it should, I believe the torque, we need to unbolt the torque converter, I believe, right? I think. I'm trying to remember. I have not worked on an automatic transmission this deeply in years. So, oh my God. So, and then, oh, dude, I'm so out of breath, man. It's insane. So yeah, and then these are the arms, I believe, right, to hold the transmission and get it in place. Self-explanatory. But yeah, once I, yeah, so pretty much once I pull the trans out, which is already gonna be hell, I already know that. Once I pull the trans out, I just have to separate it. I got a new gasket, like I said, slap that together, and then throwing, I think throwing everything together will be the, so, but dude, I'm so out of energy, dude. I didn't get that much sleep either today, so I'm kind of running on fumes, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I'm really just trying to not, oh my God, come on. Just get out of the packaging. At least, hey, that kind of worked out, actually. Let me just face it this way. Yeah, I'm just, dude, I'm just really, really tired. But I'm trying to get it done in today because tomorrow's gonna be like a 90-degree day. Today's 70 degrees, so when I first worked on this, it was so hot, like I was suffering so bad. So that's why I'm trying to get all this stuff done now. And honestly, I'm just so sick of seeing this thing on jack stands. I'm just so sick of seeing this thing, if I'm honest. All right, let me just put this thing together and then let's start doing it. And just like that, everyone, she is ready to be used. So I actually kept everything pretty loose for now, just so I can see where we have to go for. And then it comes with chains, and then you could get to lock it. What I didn't know is that there's actually these tilting levers, these turn tables here. So that's kind of cool. So definitely gonna come in handy. It moves pretty good under gravel or the pavement, but that's without obviously the trans on here. So, and then all you just gotta do is just, I think, do I lock it from here? Oh, that releases it. Oh, this tightens it. And then I'm assuming I could just start pumping. All right, why aren't you pumping? Hold on, why is this not pumping? Did I not tighten it hard enough? Hold on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I just had to really turn that. And then honestly, it moves up pretty good. And then yeah, just tilt it like this to go up, or to go, from my perspective, left or right. And then this one should go up and down from my perspective. That's cool. Yeah, that's gonna come in handy. And then to release it, you just kind of turn this dial, and then that part's gonna get a little annoying. I wish it was like the traditional, like you just take this off and put it there, but yeah. All right, let's do this. All right, guys, I finally got this transfer case out. It was annoying. So I realized I was doing it wrong, that you can't, I mean, you could technically pull both of them out if you want to, but I was advised to pull this, and obviously this is not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be, but without this trans jack, it would make things a lot worse. So, sorry. All right, next thing is I'm gonna do is, I also realized that I need to take like the starter out, for example, and then that's how I could rotate the actual flex plate. And then I have to take like the front tray out so I could crank the motor around by hand. So, and then after that, this trans should just come right out, just pop right out. So it's not too bad. My goal, so right now it's pretty late. I had a little bit of a late start today, but my goal is to pop that out. I did notice that this is like a little bit more wet, so I don't know if a seal is going out, but you know, we'll deal with that later, I guess. But I think my goal is that once I get that trans out, I'm going to pull this bad boy out, and if I could hypothetically install that this trans in today, like, and it's like it's in there, bolted up. Will I get the transfer case in there? I don't know. Pulling out was easy. Pulling it in would be interesting. Thankfully though, it's just splinal, and then this is like, there's like a little nub here. There's a ginormous guiding pin. Dude, these last two bolts were so annoying to get off. So tightening them is going to be what I really like to do. Is have it all bolted up together, but realistically that doesn't sound like a good idea, because then it'll be so heavy, and I feel like that would just be very dangerous. So, but yeah, I'm gonna for now put this thing in here, so I have to move some stuff around, but then so I know this thing is safe just in case if I don't get up to it. But yeah, the next thing we do is get that trans out. Oh dude, this is gonna be annoying, a little bit of annoying, but it should just pop right out. So, but yeah, we're almost there. tell you guys, I would never ever want to do this ever again, especially on the gravel. So because I had this trans sit here for a hot minute figuring out, yeah, to pretty much the bell housing, I'm losing my train of thought, pins here. Chance was telling me that, yeah, they like to stick on, so this one was holding up the trans. So thankfully I got everything else right. The cardboard was actually digging in on the soft mud on the bottom because it wasn't, the mud on the bottom wasn't able to dry out because of it was still keeping moisture, that was a big mistake. And then my jack took a little bit of a hit. The wheel in the back is kind of falling apart. So I got this trans out, but now my other issue is that with the new trans, like, I don't really care like if it gets dirty or whatever, but like it's gonna be, yeah, I ain't gonna, like, to put it bluntly, it is gonna suck putting that new trans. I mean, I had to drag this thing off the floor because obviously I didn't calculate for the height, which I'm gonna do that now. But dude, yeah, that's gonna be an issue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pack up and clean all this up so I can have a clean workstation. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I need something like straight and flat enough to get that in there. There's no way I'm gonna destroy this trans or whatever. So I'm gonna probably have to go to, I really don't want to go to, I mean, maybe Metal Supermarket if they have a sheet, or maybe I could use that piece of wood over there, but it might crack underneath the pressure here. I need something that could separate the weight without crumpling it together, because what I'd like to do is have this thing high enough so I could roll in with the new trans with the jack underneath it and line it up, and then that's just it. So my biggest issue is going to be the mud. So plus we already have to line everything up, and then this surface is not going to help. So I need to think of a better game plan. So yeah, but this is how bad this is supposed to be red. It is so nasty and so smelly. All right, so I'm going to clean this up real quick, and then I'll come back to you guys with the solution. All right, so I'm at the hardware store now, and this is literally perfect. I actually had that small piece of wood I tested with the jack stand with the trans in it. It didn't crack. So, and this is actually a slightly thicker material, but the only reason why I'm picking this because of its price, because there's one right here, and I don't know too much about lumber, so, but this one's 45, which they look practically the same for me. Its thickness is very similar. So what I'm gonna do is grab 2 of these because I already know that this might be coming it pretty close where the jack stands are at side by side, and I'd rather have a little bit more space so I can just roll the trans in, we can roll it back out. I should have done this in the beginning, if I'm really honest with you. So, but thankfully I have the van. I need to get one of those kind of carts and then pay for it and then get back to work. Dude, so I grabbed a different piece of wood, this has the 4 symbol on it, and it said it was 22 per piece, but when I scanned it was actually 16. I don't know what's going on with this hardware store. Prices are all over the place. But another thing too, what's nice is that since I have a van, I know it looks already kind of cluttered. Oh no, my receipt. No. Oh my God. Lord in Christ. Here. Okay, I got put you in the fanny pack. But anyways, what's really nice, like I said, with the van, even though it's pretty cluttered back here, I'll just undo this strap and then we'll just slide it all the way down. I ain't gonna lie, that is getting so annoying. These plywoods, man, they're a lot lighter than the other ones, but still. All right, so haven't eaten yet, and I already know I'm gonna be using a lot of muscle in the next couple of hours. My goal today, I know I probably said that like a million times in the video. You must understand, this is like a multi-day video now, just due to time and annoyance of pulling this trans out. I'm going to, if I get this engine in tonight, this trans in tonight, that'll be fantastic. That'll set me up. Then I can slowly put the transfer case in, and pretty much start putting everything back together the way it was. So it wasn't that bad. Like, in all hindsight, it's just like, you know, obviously trying something new, like you're gonna go through new processes, and I wasted a bunch of days just like not knowing the trick to get the dial pins out from the bell housing to the motor. But no, other than that, we should be pretty much set after this. So yeah, if I can get the trans in tonight, that would set me up, and then putting everything back together should be pretty breezy. I do need to get like new gaskets, or a coupler for the exhaust, and I need to get 2 new nuts for the exhaust the header manifold, or the headers connected to the manifold. So that I know I need to do that, but that could come in way later. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we're almost there, dude. Finally, it's gotta be at least after 2 years. 2 years? Yeah, it's gotta be at least 2 years since this truck stopped really running properly. So I'm also gonna try to clean the cooler out. Hopefully the lines are not that much of a beat to clean out before we throw everything in here. But first, I'm gonna go get some Portillo's. I'm hungry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my brand new Chevy transmission. That thank you to Jacob and Dynamic Motorsports. And the best part about it, this comes with a new torque converter. So we're gonna leave the bracket on while we're trying to install this thing. But this is a direct fit. Direct fit for my truck. So I think what I'm gonna do is, like I said before, I got everything kind of set up here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that trans all the way over here. We'll have everything lined up the way it is, right onto this piece of wood, and then we're just gonna pretty much slide it in. The only issue I fear is that because I had to use two pieces, that little bit of a gap might be an issue, but I'd rather have that be an issue than having to deal with all actual gravel. So this is probably going to make it super smooth. And then, yeah, we just lined up. I think the only thing that we're going to do as well is I'm going to try to clean the lines as best as I can. I'm going to have to pop the hood and see where the trans lines are at. And then, I mean, I've heard from like Chomps, like you could just flush it through the inside, but obviously that cooler's got oil material too. So, but I mean, it's got a filter, right? It'll filter it out. You know, that's it. But yeah, other than that, no, this is gonna be exciting. So throwing this together. Right, so that was a little sketchy. I really don't like using small ratchet straps, but fortunately I didn't bring any long enough chains to make this work. So I still have an issue. It is the truck is not high enough. Once it goes underneath that frame though, like we're good. But it's just, we need to raise this at least another half a foot. So that's really gonna, and the thing is like, I can't just throw this thing under first and then try to lift. This thing is so heavy and I really don't wanna scratch it up unnecessarily. And I just feel like I'll just give myself more of a headache doing that. So I got plenty of more to go up to, so that's not a big deal. So it's just gonna be a little sketchy having to turn this thing one-sided really high up, but once that's done, we should be good. But yeah, this thing is so heavy. I believe this is bone dry too, so even me trying to lift it up, like it is a decent amount of work. So, but I'm still very happy I did this idea, because this would make things a lot easier. That $30 investment would save so much on time, because I should be still able to move this pretty freely. Like even with one hand, like with a little bit of a give, I can move it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna readjust the truck and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I went to the dealership and I got a couple of things that I know I needed. So I needed the coupler, obviously the exhaust nuts that I kind of stripped out, but I also forgot that they have gaskets between the manifold and the white pipe, so I got those. So all of this, like literally all of these stuff, like what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, am I doing the math right? No, 5. Sorry, 5. All 5 of these items was a little over like $107, which, whoo, man, that is crazy. But honestly, I'm willing to pay for that for peace and quiet. I am not planning on taking this white pipe out. I think, dude, look how it's supposed to look like. Mine did not even look closely like this. And then, you know, mine was welded together, so we might have to weld some pieces together. But other than that, look how tiny this gasket is. This is such a tiny gasket. And there's 2 different types. So, thankfully, the guy printed out this diagram for me so I could actually know which one goes where. So, honestly, could I reuse the gaskets? I probably could, but the risk of the sound going through, I don't want to deal with all that. So I'm willing to pay $100 for peace and quiet. So that's one of the nice things about the truck, is quiet. All right, now I got that. I want to just get that out of the way because I already know, like, I'm pretty much ready to put the white pipe on now. So all right, let's go back to the truck. All right, so I don't know when was the last time I really did an update. I was just really trying to lock in. But yeah, so the trans fully in. We got the torque converter and the flex plate bolted together. That wasn't too bad. All the bell housing bolts all bolted together. I got some of the brackets together, some of the hoses together. Obviously, the trans lines are together. I don't know why, but for some reason, the bell housing bolts on this time went in way easier. Like, not like the sides, the 2 on the top. Like, could fit my hand in there. I was able to thread them in. Maybe I was always able to do that, but obviously pulling them out might be a different story. But yeah, for some reason, it just felt a lot easier. I was like, oh. So, but yeah, now I think what I'm going to do next is, so I already have the jack set up, and then my trans jack separated so we could put the actual transfer case now. Once I put the transfer case on, then we're going to put the brace back on together. And then while we do that, when we do that, I'm going to do next is have the transfer case. Actually, no. So after we get the transfer case on, we'll have my jack holding onto the transfer case in the back. Then we'll take my Y pipe and we'll have it lined up, and I'll just have the bolts threaded in. And then we'll put the brace back on, so we can at least have the engine and the transfer case sit on the actual chassis now. And then from there, oh my god, I totally forgot I need to remove that. See, look how nasty that old coupler is. So do that, and then pretty much once I have the transfer case and the Y pipe all bolted together, and technically this bolted together, then we'll put the drive shaft together, and then I think that's it, right? You know, I feel like that's really all it. And then I have to put the tray back on for the front of the skid plate. Yeah, that's I think that's all it. So torque converter is already torqued down. We put Loctite on it, and then bell housing bolts don't need that much to torque onto. So yeah, I think that's really it. It feels like I did way more stuff than it did. And then I have enough to fill the trans. So, but I'm gonna obviously double check. And while we have the truck up in the air, we're gonna run it, you know, and then just in case if I see a leak or whatever, I could fix it on the fly. Until I know something smells nasty. But anyways, until that I know the trans is good, we're shifting and everything like that, right? Then after that, I think we'll put some fresh gas in her, and then we'll do a quick test drive. I won't test drive for her for long because later I do want to clean this truck out. So, but anyways, all right, I think we're pretty much there. So I'll see you on the other time lapse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the transfer case, trans brace, and we even got technically the exhaust system all connected. This one, I'm gonna probably have to go to the store and buy some exhaust filler gap or whatever. I covered majority of it, so this one I'm just gonna leave whatever. So I'm not gonna even worry about all this. So here's the thing. For some reason, in my pile, I have 2 nuts missing, which I know that we still have 2 good nuts. So yeah, that was like a whole thing. And then I think what I'm also gonna do as well is, yeah, that's just kind of annoying. I'm sitting here like, where did they all go? So yeah, everything's good. It looks like I need a gasket for that. I don't remember if they require a gasket, but I have to go back to the dealer anyways, so I can get the exact nuts for it. So I'm like, all right, that's not a big deal. Going back there like the millionth time. And then is there anything else I'm looking for? No, not really. Yeah, I got all the oxygen sensors plugged in. So now realistically we just gotta torque the trans bolts, the trans mount bolts, put the 2 drive shafts on, and then we're pretty much, I would like to say we're pretty much done from there. I'm also gonna do an oil change on this thing since this has been sitting forever, and you know, fresh oil will be great for this thing since I already have it high up. And then while we're at it, yeah, we're just gonna do an oil change on it. And then I know that the transfer case lost a little bit of fluid, so I'm gonna try to fill that up as well. I believe that just takes regular trans fluid, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Everything's bolted up as of right now to get this thing started. I just checked. There is trans fluid in this thing. It is full to the brim. I guess the transmission came with fluid, so it's kind of nice. It's up in the air. All right, the transmission is in park, so I'm already mentally prepared to, if this is gonna throw like a 4-wheel drive light on, right, or check engine light on, because I know I unplugged some stuff. All right, here we go. I already know there's an exhaust leak. I already know that. All right, cool. I believe we have a stability, like the traction control light is on. I don't know if that's just because we're up in the air, or I don't know if I. Nope, no, it's so okay. So now, does it know it's in park? Hold on, put this in drive or reverse. Oh, we're reversing. Okay, and then neutral. All right, we're in neutral now, so we should be not moving. And then drive. All right, here we go. I'm laying off the brakes, and we are driving. Nice. All right, so for some reason the shifting light is not on, but all right, transmission is doing its thing. I probably gonna have to clear the code with my code reader just to kind of get this thing square, because it's probably like really weird. It's probably think it's really weird right now. So yeah, I think that's gotta be it, right? Like that has to be it. Like we had fluid in there, it was running, right? We have fresh oil in there. Transmission did its thing. I didn't want to run it too long with it because I was nervous of it moving around or something like that. So I am yeah, I think we're pretty much fixed. Yeah, I think we have to be pretty much fixed. I mean, it worked. So yeah. Quick couple notes. So I did went to the dealership. They did not have these clip-in stock today, but they have it tomorrow, so I'll grab that tomorrow. I'm not putting the skid plate back on just because now I confirmed that everything is running. We're gonna wash this whole truck, and then yeah, we're gonna do another video on that, and then we'll just do a final TLC of anything else that needs to be done with this truck. Let me see. Oh, we do need to take the other, if you guys look over here, we need to get this step thing torn apart because that one's broken too. But yeah, I think this is it. I think my truck's fixed. Yeah, the transmission did its thing, so I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy. So yeah, dude, that's awesome. I don't know, like, yeah, like, it finally did it. Dude, it feels kind of weird that, like, my truck's back to normal. So, wow. That's how you know it's been broke. When something's been broken for so long, you're just kind of like, that's it? Yeah, my truck needs a huge detailing. And then, like I said, once we do that, we'll pull, like, heat shielding back on and everything. And I need to get another sway bar link. I totally forgot about that. So, I might actually just go over there now and grab that. And yeah, I'm honestly, oh, here's another bolt. Oh yeah, I keep some of the bolts I have is like missing, like the heat shield and stuff like that, so I need to find that once we take I bet you they're underneath the wood right now. But I am very happy. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to the dealership now, go grab the other sway bar link, and then I'll do that next time, or I'll put it on off camera. But the camera turned off, but it literally took forever, like literally forever. By the time this video started, I'm probably 3 weeks in total, just because of like shows I had to go to, other stuff I had to do, and things I didn't know what to do yet on this thing, because like I didn't know to learn like little neats and tricks. But she's finally done. We finally did it. I can't believe that this day has finally came. Like literally after 2 years of this thing being broken, it's finally fixed. And then that's just out of my laziness, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Will I ever do this again? No, I would never do this again. Never, ever, ever. I'm granted that hopefully this van never blows transmission, but this sucked. Like, I can finally talk about it now. It sucked. Like, I'm gonna be straightforward. It was heavy doing it by yourself. The gravel, this wood came in so clutch. So I might save this wood just if I do a big project like this again, but it sucked. Oh, I also have to go to the store to get some of that silicone stuff I totally forgot about. But yeah, no, it sucked. I ain't gonna lie, it all sucked. This whole thing sucked. I'm glad I did it. This was literally my bucket list of this year to get stuff done, just like with the van. And I feel like a new man now. Like, you guys don't understand how much this was weighing on me over the last 2 years, just because it's like, you know, like when you're paying for something, it's just a paperweight. It sucks. It really does. But now, yeah, we're all good now. So I'm gonna go enjoy myself. I'm gonna go to Golden Corral and eat a delicious steak dinner, all right, and enjoy myself and get some bread pudding. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Signing here. Dude, this is so awesome.